And you yourself didn't even recognize it.
No, it came natural. I thought it was just the right thing to do. I always spoke out for others. Every year in the university, I survived expulsion for one reason or another, for speaking against what I saw as unjust university policies. And so, I was almost dismissed from the university for leading a strike against school fees increment. I went to UCU because I couldn't afford my career. It was just, I couldn't afford it. And then after one semester, the university was increasing our fees twofold. We said, no.
That's not right. No.
I led a demonstration against the expulsion of ladies who got pregnant in the university. Because back then, when you got pregnant, you were expelled. I led this protest. I went to the Minister for State for Higher Education, the Honorable Beta Kecho Kulu. And for all of that, I was summoned before the University Disciplinary Committee. And thankfully, some sober heads prevail. And I'm grateful for people like Bishop Murray, who took me in as his son and made sure that I finished law school. So yeah, I've always been, in some form or another, an advocate for what I see as unjust laws, wherever I've gone.
Okay. All right. So what do you feel like has been one of the most challenging parts of your career? At least in the early days. We know you've had a turbulent time in the last few years. And you, as you said, you like to fight for what's right. And you take up causes that many other people shy away from. But in the early days, what for you was so challenging? Did you ever feel at any point in time like, maybe I should do something else?
Yeah, I mean, look, when people see us in suits, they don't know our journeys.
They see you now.
Yeah, they see us now. There were times when I had one suit. I had to wear it the whole week. Board taxis, and taxi seats can be quite tricky. And you might find a loose wire somewhere would cut your suit, and you walk with a suit that was cut.
And you're tall, so.
Yeah, quite tall. And the hem of your suit here would be full of dust. It was hard. It was hard. We lived from hand to mouth. We begged. But I think that what was the most difficult was this misunderstanding amongst not just my family but also friends who thought that I was just mad and said,
they didn't understand.
You could go work for any law firm and they would pay you quite a decent salary. Why are you doing this? And I said, this is my journey, this is what I've set up to do. So it was quite difficult convincing my friends. In my village, even some people, that I'm a lawyer, because what kind of lawyer looks like you? My mother, I think up to now, still lives in fear every day that I'm going to get killed or that I'm going to get arrested for one reason or another. So she's terrified of my work. My father, on the other hand, is very proud. Every day, I think he tells himself, that's me in him. So yeah, in the early days, it was difficult for my family, difficult for my friends, difficult for me, having to navigate the expectation of me as a lawyer from my friends and family, but also just getting people to hear you. It's very difficult as a young lawyer to make it in this town unless you establish yourself as somebody who is firm and consistent on a particular issue. So people dismissed me, quite quickly in the early years of my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
That dismissal. So it took quite a few years of you doing the work, being consistent.
I tell people, especially young lawyers that I talk to now, that first of all, you must decide what you want to do, find your niche, and be prepared to walk a lonely path, at least for the first 5 years. But when you're convinced about the things you're doing, you know it's right, even if it's unpopular, do it. People will come around. And so for me, I set out to do this and did nothing else. I think that along the way, I've won over some doubters. There are still many others out there, but over the years, people have begun to see that my actions are actions in good faith. My actions are actions that are common good, not for personal gain. And that if there are any personal gains, it's not the reason I went in for it. It's a consequence of that work. I tell my friends I don't wake up every morning to go and make money, because money cannot be a motivation for your work. If it is, you're going to be a thief. Money is a consequence of good work.
Ooh, I like that.
It's a consequence of good work. Whatever work you do, whether you're a sweeper, you're a tailor, if you're the best at it, people will look for you and they'll pay for your time. And so the challenge of convincing young people to be patient, to be consistent, to be focused, and even if what they're doing is unpopular, do it if you believe it is the right thing to do.
That is a challenge.
Yeah.
The reliability and consistency, those two things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So in the last few years, you've taken up some causes and represented people who are highly polarizing in our society. In terms of your interactions and relationships with other legal professionals, has there ever been a disconnect there when you look at other legal professionals in Uganda?
Imagine coming home to a vacation each day, to a place of pure serenity, a place of pure luxury for you to entertain and unwind. At Jacana Heights, dreams come true. Take your pick from spacious 1, 2, or 3 bedroom apartments and luxurious 4-bedroom penthouses, built to international standards with fine, exceptional finishing. Located on Konge Hill, Buziga, with incredible views and a fresh breeze from the nearby Lake Victoria. It's a place for your body, soul, and mind, with a wide array of amenities. Contact us for more information. Jacana Heights, luxury hilltop living.
Has there ever been a disconnect there when you look at other legal professionals in Uganda?
I mean, look, for a very long time I was an official of the Uganda Law Society. I was, in 2013, the Secretary General of the Law Society. It's a powerful position, elected by the lawyers. I chaired the Human Rights Committee. I chaired the Publication and Research Committee of the Law Society. I was a high-standing member of the society. In 2013, there was a fundamental departure between myself and a large section of the members of the Law Society. In particular, the Christian Lawyers Fraternity, because of my work around the rights of sexual minorities in this country. The Christian lawyers believed that their leader should not be defending the rights of the LGBTI community in this country, and went on a maligning campaign to force me out of the Law Society. They spent the entire General Assembly just attacking me and insulting me. And I did feel at that point, well, one of my lowest points in being a lawyer, because you would understand a lawyer should be able to appreciate the fact that every Ugandan has a right to legal representation, whether you are accused of theft, defilement, or accused of homosexuality. Standing up to defend the rights of the LGBTI community cost me my position in the Law Society and my relationship with a large section of the Law Society, in particular the Uganda Christian Lawyers Group, at the time led by a guy called Sekabanja. They had emails circulated about me and my work around the LGBTI. At the time, we were challenging the country's anti-gay law, which we eventually won in the Constitutional Court. That was quite difficult. The second thing really is about, I think that many lawyers in this town are chasing the biggest paycheck and not causes. We've lost our conscience as a society. We've become so self-centered and so individualistic that you will do anything if it cuts you a big check. Many of us who do public interest work are despised amongst many members of our society. Not all of them. I think that many people are now coming around to realizing that we have a duty far more than just making money for our law firms. So I struggle a bit with that kind of perception. People think that you're seeking cheap popularity, you're going for it because there's donor money and all kinds of things. So those would be very difficult moments for me. There have also been moments where you've done cases that nearly cost you your life.
Yeah.
When we tried to prosecute the Inspector General of Police for torture, he hired a mob that nearly lynched us in a courthouse in Makindye. General Kale Kaihura sent his henchmen at the time, Chitata, with goons, over 200 of them, who besieged the court and demanded for our heads for about 4 hours. We were rescued by ambassadors and the Chief Justice at the time. So yes, there have been low moments in the practice
It's
of
one
law.
thing for us to see and watch the news and hear about it, read it in the papers, but it's something completely different for you who's right in the thick of it.